this set up right. I do apologize for this. I'm just getting set up still. I did want to get it started on time, but I want to get this few things set up. Okay, so I only have 2 questions today. The first question comes from T. Kelly Ireland on Twitter. That's TKELLEYIRELAND. I will put a link down to his Twitter in the description below after I'm done with this, but here's his question. Ode 2. Where has my storage gone? Since 16 gigabyte SSD shows 1.2 gigabytes available after power wash. SSD shows up in stats, but Zippo available. Okay. So with that, oh, come on. Let me. Oh, wrong one. All right. So, this is T. Kelly Ireland's Twitter. I'll have that up while I'm answering this question. And I am down here in the bottom corner. Okay, so you're only getting 1.2 gigabytes out of your 16 gigabyte SSD card after a power wash. There could be a few factors into there, factors causing that. Either you or if you have either you yourself or the person that owned the Chromebook before you, if you're using a used Chromebook, may have tried to put Linux on there and created a partition that's not visible by Chrome OS. That could have taken up some space. And to correct that, you'd have to do a system restore instead of a power wash to get rid of that partition. Another thing that could be happening is if you have the Google Drive integration set up, it could very well be that. Because when you sync from that folder to Google Drive, it is stored locally on the machine. And I do believe even after a power wash, it resyncs it to the device. I could be entirely wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that does happen. And if I'm wrong, I do apologize. I will look into that a little bit farther, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens. Another issue is you could simply have just too many extensions and apps that are syncing to Chrome and using up all your storage space. Now with apps and extensions, it would take quite a bit of that to take up roughly about 8 gigs that's open on the 16. Oh, more than 8. Roughly about 10 or 12, I think, on the 16. But that's what I'm thinking your issue is that it's either a partition created by trying to install Linux on the Chromebook, either by a previous owner or somebody that tried to do it on your behalf, or unbeknownst to you even. It could be a partition hidden from Chrome OS. It could be the Google Drive being synced and taking up that local storage space. Or it could also be the apps and extensions. It could be a combination of any of those. And if you did a power wash, you shouldn't have any local data on there. So I would go ahead and recommend doing a system restore and seeing if that clears up the issue. We did run into this a little while ago, and a system restore helped the person that we were trying to help in Chromebook Central. So you give that a shot, give the system restore a shot. And if that doesn't work, go ahead and file an issue report and then reach out to Chrome OS Ninja or Guru or whatever they're calling them now, agent, I think, the official Chrome OS Google Help system. Go ahead and reach out to them after you file a report, and in the report you could tag it with a hashtag or something that they'll be able to look up and find in the logs in the report files. That way they can get your log and see if that helps any. But yeah, that's my best answer I can give you. I will look into it a little bit further, and if I find an answer, I will tweet you. Excuse me. Okay, and then the second and actually final question for the day, I will go to Chromebook Central and see if we have any questions from there. From Dean Bricklin, why don't the Chrome OS team let USB disk drives work on with the operating system? It would please the people who really want them, and I don't think that it would take long for them to make them work. It might make them less secure though. I don't think it would make it less secure. I think it's more of a licensing agreement, or even trying to find a way to get around it. Disk drives technically do work, but playing music CDs or any type of movie disc like Blu-rays or DVDs, those don't work. I believe that's simply because of the encoding, and I'm speculating here. I believe it's a I'm trying to think. I want to say licensing, but I'm not 100% sure I want to say that because I'm it's something along the lines of licensing, but it's not really licensing the decryption software or uh key or whatever. Um but it goes deeper than them just going, "Oh, let's flip the switch and make it work." It's they have to do it where they're not infringing on any copyrights or patents or even stepping on anyone's toes or anything. They have to figure out how to do it, and even if there's a large demand, and if there is a large demand, um, and if people do have those types of drives, plug it in, put in a movie, and as soon as you put it in, plug it in and put in that movie, and nothing happens. Alt Shift I, send that feedback report. I'd like to watch my DVD or Blu-ray or listen to my CD on my Chromebook with an external disk drive. And if they get enough feedback reports from that, they'll go, "Oh, people want this. Let's try to figure out how we can make it work." But as of right now, I don't think they have enough input coming in that, hey, we want this, we need this, uh, give it to us. There's no solid alternative because I believe they view you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have YouTube, you have Google Play, all these, and I understand that. Yeah, you have your own physical media. You don't want to have to go and purchase another digital version. Um, so I understand that, but to Google, it's kind of a okay. There's already alternatives here. Why do we need to invest in the physical hardware? Pardon me. Why do we have to invest in the physical hardware when there's online alternatives already? Um, and with Google Play, movies and TV, you can do those offline also. So I believe they view it as kind of a medium risk with low rewards. So it's not that high up on the order list, and it's probably closer to the bottom because it won't really affect that many users in total of Chromebook or Chrome OS users. Excuse me. All right, so I'm still live and I do not have any questions in the questions. So I will hop over on Chromebook Central really quick. Actually, I'll first check to see if any more. Nope, no more questions on the form. So I will jump over on Chromebook Central shortly. And okay, we'll go ahead and do it this way. And we will go ahead and go with all right. So this first one, And this is an issue of that the Rising Stars and CCs always come up with in Chromebook Central. Rob Loveboy here. Um, as you can see, the title just says cannot download Google Chrome. And that's it. There's nothing else there. We don't know if he's even on a Chromebook, uh, or if he's trying to, download it on a Linux, Mac, Windows, whatnot. So what I will just go down here and hi Rob. Welcome to Chromebook Central. Unfortunately, can't help unless you provide slightly more detail, please. Are you using a Chromebook or another type of device? Because he could even be using an Android and an iPhone or iOS device also. And I can't spell, so I definitely use spell check. So with that, that's what we got. So I'll just go back. Hi Goose, keep your claws in, big guy. So we'll go ahead and go back to the topics. And it looks like this one already has an answer, but I'll click on it anyway. And sometimes it'll show that we don't have answers, or if it's whatnot. One account on multiple Chromebooks. So Catherine Watts here. Hey guys, do you know if there's one way to simultaneously log into one account on multiple Chromebooks? So what I think, from what I understand, same as Tony. Hi Catherine, do you mean can I log into more than one device with the same account? Just do it. Google doesn't care. But if you mean can I sign in one place and find myself automatically logged on physical machines, then you can't. That would be a terrible breach of security. I know for a fact, because I've done it before, you can log in on multiple Chromebooks. I had the CR48 and the Samsung Series 5 both logged in on my same account, and I was in Hangouts with both accounts. So I know it's possible because I used to have one set up downstairs where I could keep an eye on my dog when I went upstairs to cook a dinner or something before. So when I lived in a basement with a housemate. So I've used it as like a baby monitor before. So I know it works. So what I'll tell Catherine here. letting her know is that you should be able to log into as many devices as you would like with the same account, and it shouldn't kick her off. And since Tony actually gave a pretty good answer, I'll go ahead and like or upvote that one, and then we'll see where that goes. Next one will move down. All right, using save as for Word files. I'm new to Chromebooks and working with Word and Excel, I don't always want to overwrite the file I'm editing. On my desktop Office applications, I use save as to give a new file name without changing the old. I don't see a way to do this in Google Docs or Word Online. It automatically saves all the editing, erases an older file that I'm working on. If I can't save as much of my Word or Excel work on Chromebooks would be either useless, risky, since I might erase information I want to keep. Help. Okay, so Tony again answers this very well. Actually, Ben, the good news is neither loses your previous versions. Say you're using Word Online. If you open a document, it displays without being in editing mode. Just click the File tab. As you know, this opens a pull-in box from the left. Select Info, and hey presto, every single version you ever made is available to you. Select Previous Version. I've never tested this to destruction, but I have not encountered any limit in either quantity or period of time things are remembered for. In Google Docs, the same facility exists in more or less the same place. Open a document and go to the File tab. Halfway down, you'll see the option to see revision history. Hope this helps. And Ben already replied to this, so that's more cumbersome than just choosing save as. Using a different file name plus the older files. I have to move myself. Dallas. Not. God bless it. Oh, buddy. Get back up. Go in the kitchen. All right, sorry about that. Dallas didn't feel well, so had to go check on him and clean up that mess. Okay, anyway, back to Ben, and it was okay, this is more of a Google Drive question, but you can help him out here. Tony has the right idea. What I think Ben's trying to do is figure out how to copy, and that is an option he has. So I will go ahead and reply to this, and then, hey Ben, this sounds like you're wanting to just make a new copy for each month. You can simply copy the document. I can't spell. And rename it. Now I'm going to double check this. Drive. And I'll scroll down. And I'll actually just, I'll just use this one, right click it, and make a copy. And it should automatically, right there, copy. And then I can, if I view the details, I believe, I can, or no, hold on. I apologize. You have to actually open it to go rename it. And rename it. Okay, yeah. And since I don't really need this, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Before I post, I like to double check myself and make sure that I'm providing the correct information. Right, so Ivan, it sounds like you're trying to make a new copy for each month. You can simply copy the document and then rename it. To rename it, you open the copy and click on the title, which would likely be, and then I put quotation marks, copy of document. And it looks like we have 3 new replies to this already. And I'll be the 4th. So I'll go ahead and refresh that. And Ben, I'm not sure I understand your problem. What's wrong with your opening the original document, then file, make a copy instead of file save as? And that's from one of our rising stars, lag I don't want to butcher that. Lagagnon. Uh, well, I apologize. I don't. The save as option exists, but it's not called save as in either Word or Docs, and is cumbersome. In Word, you go to OneDrive, right-click the file name, then copy. Click Copy to. Unless you want to make the copy in a different folder, just hit the big copy button. Your copy will appear alongside the original, but with a 1 appended to the name. The only way to give it another name is to rename it after the copy has been made, a bit of a pain in the ass. Google has the same cumbersome system. Personally, I rely on version history, since whenever I create versions of documents, I usually call them something like Amazing Story 12.1.15.docx, followed by the date updates as I go. And then Power Matt, one of our top contributors, Ben, respectfully, I have to disagree. Once you've got 20 plus revisions of a document, it's far easier to work with Google's system. It really seems like you're making more difficult than it should be. I don't understand, why wouldn't you just create a new file each month? If you want to preserve the formatting, you just create a master template and copy that whenever you want to make make a new newsletter. I understand you have a process and it works for you, but I really think you're going about things a bit backwards. And I actually agree with Power Matt there, but I pretty much said the same thing as Tony. I just didn't call it cumbersome. So I jumped in, but I jumped in late. This one's locked. It can be ignored. It was a duplicate. I don't know why it was. Yeah. Okay, so someone spammed us twice. I'm going to go ahead and mark that one as a duplicate, and this one can be marked as a spam topic also. Because do you think I'm gay has nothing to do with Chromebook Central, and report as spam. All right, problems connecting to Wi-Fi. This is from Helen Thromp. If you're, I always want to keep reading that issue description. My device says I'm connected to my Wi-Fi, but there's an exclamation point next to my Wi-Fi symbol. My Chromebook will not connect to the internet. I've tried disconnecting, and I also disabling and reconnecting, but this does sometimes work, but not always. I tried diagnostic test, which says I'm unable to ping the gateway. I have a Bluetooth home hub. I managed to get connected after trying 10 times, so I'm able to send this message. And then Tony here, again, Tony Lazzarnini. The exclamation point simply means that you're connected to the hub, but not the internet. First off, did you try turning your Chromebook off, rebooting the router, or turning your hub back on? BT hubs, I have a business one, seems remarkably fickle with new devices, so observing things like, but my iPhone and PC work fine, does not help much. I do not have experience with BT home hubs or BT hubs at all, so I can't really chime in here. He's offered the help that would be helpful, just basic troubleshooting stuff. The only thing I would add in would be to reach out to or do a feedback report. I would try to do one when you can't connect, and it will store it until it can send. And then I'd do one once it gets connected. I might suggest that, but I'll come back later and see if anyone else suggests that later. I'm not going to bother with the eBay question because that's been asked and answered so many times in the past. The ask.com has been answered before. Sound on YouTube, Spotify conks out after a few minutes. I honestly have not had that issue, but I'll go ahead and check that one out, see if they give us any information. After listening to YouTube for a while, the sound portion quits and I have to reboot to recover it. It affects all websites I'm listening to through Chromebook speakers. It's not muted. I adjusted the sound around. Nothing until I reboot. Then it works again for a time and then gives what gives is the machine defective. And it looks like they have an Asus C200. An Asus, sorry. And Tony, the first thing you want to try is log in as guest, see if anything changes. If the problem goes away, then has to do with an extension loaded into your browser. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Can you do a quick test and report back, please? That's a good answer. I personally would have gone check guest mode. If it doesn't work, go back into yours, replicate the bug, and send an issue report as soon as it happens. And then use a hashtag YouTube no sound. Then hashtag no sound in the bug report. That way they can search for it. Come back, let us know that you sent that, and then the community manager will be able to tell the Chrome OS team, hey, users are reporting this. They're using the hashtag no sound in their bug reports. Could you kind of look at those and whatnot? Now, granted, if there's not that many users reporting it, they're not going to put that high up on their list to try to fix. If there are multiple users, they're going to be like, oh, we need to fix this, and they'll get it fixed as soon as they can. So I would have gone ahead and gone, okay, try guest mode. If it does not work there, go ahead, log back into yours and try it again. And if it didn't fix itself, once the sound stops, send an issue report, use the hashtag no sound, or sound cutout, or whatever. Use a simple hashtag, share it on the forum. Go, hey, if you're running into this issue too, report the issue. Use this hashtag so they can track it, and then the Chrome OS team will follow that. They'll be like, hey, they set up a hashtag. They're using it in all their issue reports with this issue. Let's see how many we can find. But I would have included steps. I would have been like, okay, but if it does work in guest mode, here's what you can do to kind of narrow down your other issues. You can, I would personally tell them one-click extension manager. It'll let you shut off all your extensions and turn them on one by one until you figure out what your problem is. I would turn them all off and then try it. And if it still cuts out, send that file report also. Issue report. I would have included that. I would have just gone through all the steps. Well, not all the steps, but the first step of guest mode, and then my second step of troubleshooting if it's an extension. Because I include that as step one with many sub steps. Now, if it went through and it's still not an extension, well, then that's step two. It's a bug, you're filing a report. If it's happening in guest mode, it's a bug, file the report. But also with in with the not the extension, but the account, if you're logged in and it happens without any extensions, it might not be a bug. Excuse me. It could be an app. It wouldn't be an extension because you have those all turned off, but it could be an app still. But any apps that would interfere would be turned off with the if you use one-click extension manager like I do, it turns off extensions and apps that behave like extensions or have extensions built into them. It turns everything off except for itself. So there's that. But he offered a good answer. I don't need to chime in. I'm just gonna upvote his answer. And I'll come back later and probably answer a couple or simply go and I'll simply come back and pardon me and validate. Spell check's not working. It doesn't even show a red line under misspelled WDS. I'm thinking they meant words, but I answered this in another similar post, but here it is again. Okay, you may have spell check turned off or in the wrong language. Right click, see above, which he doesn't have anything attached, but any word in something you're typing, it doesn't have to be misspelled, and you can see the context menu, spell checker, options. Adjust the settings to suit your taste. If that doesn't work, then it's probably time to reset your browser or test in guest mode. But you don't even have to select anything, I don't think. Yeah, you do. But you have to type. It actually has to be something you typed, which doesn't work in the Omnibox. But US check spelling. And I'm going to enable that because, well, why not? But that's a good answer. Also, I don't know why you got downvoted for that. I'm going to go ahead and try to cancel that out, upvote it once. So he's got 1-to-1. It's a good answer. And without more information, we really can't help Stacy here. Oh, I missed the question. It says my safety settings are on. How do I turn it off? Tony replied, is this what you're looking for? And that's something we don't ever want to do. Safe search. He led to a page for safe search. Um, yeah, so there are no settings for safety. Um, uh, hmm, yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm not entirely sure what Richard's asking. Tony might be on the right track with safe search, but he might want to, instead of "is this what you're looking for" with the link, the word "this" highlighted, he might want to go is turning safe search off, with having turning safe search off linked. Is this, instead of using this, put is turning safe search off what you're looking for. That way they know what they're clicking, instead of just going this. Because there are some people that would go, "Is this what you're looking for?" and link something completely inappropriate. And people are kind of weary to click just a link on a form that says "this." Um, but that would be a good guess to what Richard's talking about. And we'll go and okay, so it doesn't look like I have anyone watching. Let's see, there are no questions. There are no more questions there, so I'll go ahead and look at my other videos and see if there's any comments. Any comment questions. Let's see. I answered this last week, but just in case, Lylon Chair. How do you play Wax audio file on a Chromebook? There's no Google Apps to play AVI, and there is no Google Apps to play AVI file in Chromebook or Chromebook. How to solve it. And as I explained last week, Wax file is for Windows Media Player. It's an internet link for Windows Media Player. You need Windows Media Player, and you can't have Windows Media Player on a Chromebook. So Wax is not going to happen because Microsoft's not going to let it happen. It's not a Chromebook thing. It's not a Google thing. It's Microsoft being, nope, it's ours. As for the AVI file an issue report. Trying to play it, doesn't play, file the issue report. Send the feedback. Use the hashtag AVI. That way they can track anyone that comes in, AVI. And I encourage you, post on Google Plus, or not, post on any Google Plus, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Chromebook Central, and make sure you share the hashtag that, hey, if you want to play AVIs on your Chromebook, try to play one, let it fail, file an issue report, and use the hashtag AVI, or use the hashtag whatever you want, file support, whatever. That way they know you want to be able to play AVIs on your Chromebook. An alternative to that is upload it to Google Drive if you have the space. Let it, and it should play through the web player. Upload it privately to YouTube. You can watch it via YouTube. And then even let it convert it and then download the MP4 instead. There's online converters where you can convert AVIs to MP4s. Just there's options out there. I personally would probably just use the online converter or upload it to YouTube privately, and then download the MP4, delete the YouTube video, and delete the AVI. That's most likely what I would do instead of searching for a converter that will handle it, because I don't really, most of the converters I don't trust. Most of the converters I've come across, they're ad ridden, and I'd rather not them. Like, I don't know. It's possible they might try to, when it's being converted, throw in something that might be harmful. I'd rather just upload it to YouTube as a private video. That way it doesn't get flagged for copyright content. Download the MP4 once it's done processing, delete the video, and delete the AVI to save the space on the Chromebook. And that's how I would handle it. So there's that. So I believe that's all I've got. For this week. I will be back next week. And I guess what I'll do is my disclaimers and whatnot. And introductions. My name's Jason. I'm a Chromebook Central top contributor. I'm not a Google employee. I do not have any insight to Google's knowledge. Oh, I take that back. I can get some information from a Googler about Chromebooks and Chrome OS. But release dates, upcoming models, upcoming updates, I have no knowledge of those. And if I did, I couldn't share them. So I don't have that knowledge. I do not work for Google. I've been a Chrome OS user since 2010. When the CR48s came out, I've owned the CR48, the Samsung Series 5, the Samsung Chromebook, the ARM Chromebook, and the Chromebook Pixel. I've not personally had my hands on a Chromebox or any other Chromebooks except for the HP 14, which if I had the extra money, I would get one. Of course, I like the touchscreen on my Pixel also. And for contact information, you can reach me on Google+. The link is on my YouTube profile if you're watching this on YouTube. You can catch me, well, you can catch me on Google+. In the description, there is a link to a Google form that I've created if you want to ask questions that way. You can always go to Chromebook Central. The link is also down in the description. When you do go to Chromebook Central, please be as descriptive as possible and let us know what device you are using and what channel you are on. That way we can help you instead of having to go, okay, say your screen's going dim. Okay, are you hitting a button and is it going dim, or is it just going dim when you let it sit? Are you using it when it's going dim? Are you typing? Are you using the mouse? Are you hitting some button on the top row? Are you hitting the dim button by chance? Is it just going dim automatically? Is it when you unplug it? Are you using a Chromebook? Are you just using Chrome? That information will help us. So yeah. Oh, pardon me. So that's it for this. I will catch you guys next week, and thank you for watching.